Season 49, war number 11, and we are up against ISO8a, and this time I think it will be Kate Bishop, Toad and Silk. I will be taking path 2 in section 1, path 5 in section 2, and then I will be taking a Mysterio, a Masacre, Mangog, and finally a Photon miniboss, and that will do it for this war. So a few old fights, a couple new ones as usual, and well, a path that I don't normally take at all, path number 2. Starting off here we have a Morbius, and I will be taking him with Kate Bishop, as would probably anyone really in this situation. He's on the Drift Feed placebo node along with Shatter, which basically means he has no nodes at all, and it's gonna be just a very normal Kate Bishop fight. Now the only real problem that Morbius has in his kit is the psionic glide. As long as you can keep an eye on it and avoid it, he doesn't do anything really, and all that is left is to just let the cold snaps melt him, and that does it for this one. Under 30 seconds, fully low bar, no issues there at all. Managed to actually dex these psionic glides without getting clipped by them this time around, which was nice. Then we have a Doctor Doom on the Combat Deja Vu Placebo and Sadist nodes, and I am taking the fight with Silk. Now due to the Sadist, or Sadist however you're supposed to say it, the opponent's attack rating goes very high with all the debuffs that Silk inflicts on them. However, whenever you knock down the defender, those debuffs get removed, apart from the slow at the very least, so the defender doesn't exactly get to utilize the damage boost in any real way here. The slow debuff also prevents Doom from activating his aura of whatever it's called, and that means that there's gonna be no shocks at all, no resist on your heavy attacks or specials, and the specialty from Silk inflicts a Sunder debuff, completely stripping Doom away from his critical resistance, making him, well, lose his tankiness as well, which was the only real thing left in his kit. Overall, Silk is probably one of the top options for Doom, if not the best. Then we have a Baron Zemo here on the Banflow Intercept and Sadist nodes, and I'm taking the fight with Toad. Now, Zemo is a skilled champion, so Toad will be able to benefit from his passive poisons, and overall, this fight is not too bad. The only real thing you need to worry about, apart from the defense tactic, is the cleanses that Zemo has, and to make sure that the 5th cleanse that you trigger on him will be done with your special attack. If he tries to root you during your own specials, you will just avoid it completely, as we see here. And now, while the cleanses are down, I'm free to inflict as many debuffs as I want, without worrying about the root at all. And all those debuffs, whenever they get purified, they have a chance to turn into passive poisons, which deal a ton of damage, and Zemo is just gonna melt. Went ahead and threw my striker there to finish it off, but even then, a few ticks from the poison, and he would have been toast. Toad is a great counter for Zemo, so long as you play it relatively safely and just watch for the cleanses. Then we have the Destroyer here on the Evenflow Intercept and Mighty Charge nodes once again, and I will be taking the fight with Kate Bishop. As I have previously shown and said, Kate Bishop's counter evade hit counts as an intercept, so long as you do it against the opponent's medium intercept, or medium dash attack, excuse me. And that means that I can deal with the Unstoppable as well as the Evenflow intercept node at the same time with simply parrying the opponent's dash. I did start this fight off pretty horribly though. I got comboed before I managed to do anything, and I'm just missing my parries, though at this point I'm just trying to bait some heavy attacks for openings to keep the cold snap paused. Now that I got 2 cold snaps on, I just gotta keep them up, let them do the work for me, avoid baiting any more specials from this guy, just bait heavies, punish them to pause the cold snaps, and repeat until the fight is done. A little under 40 seconds and down he goes. I did take some damage there due to my own stupidity, but that's par for the course at this point. I have been making plenty of rookie mistakes lately. not much I can really do about it except, well, maybe do some more warm-ups in practice fights before taking these fights, but even then, maybe I'm just getting old, but, well, I guess not. Either way, and next up we have a Mysterio here on the Power Snack and 1 too many hits mini-boss node, and I'm taking the fight with Silk. Silk doesn't get any buffs, so the Power Snack node will not come into play at all, and all that's left is the 1 too many hits node, along with Mysterio's own kit. Now, something that I discovered recently about Mysterio is that he actually doesn't have any heavy bias until you bait a special 2. If he uses that special 2, that is when he will start spamming heavy attacks all over the place without any real rhyme or reason to it. So just don't bait a special 2 and it's a normal fight. Now with Silk here, my game plan is to do the usual special 3 rotation. I try to avoid any of the bursting damage by baiting the special 1 here and then waiting out the damage reflection phase, and now a heavy into a special 3, and this fight is in lockdown. This Mysterio will not have a chance to do anything more in the fight. So about the Mysterio AI, yeah, it's one of those conditional biases I have mentioned before for champions like Nick Fury, for example, where he doesn't throw a special 1 while he has 16 or more tactical charges, he simply will never do it. This guy has a conditional bias, increasing his heavy bias after he uses a special 2, which for some reason becomes permanent. That is apparently a bug, but I don't know if that's gonna get fixed, because it would probably devalue Mysterio quite a bit, but even then that's not my call to make, nor do I know the finer details of it all. Then, next up we have a Masacre, as usual, on the Hazard Shift, Incinerate and Poison miniboss node, and I'm taking the fight with Toad. Now, game plan is to just avoid hitting him during the Incinerate phase, if possible, and then just during the poison phase, get as many hits in as possible, spam special 1, get the poisons on him, let them turn into passives, and just watch him melt. Masacre himself is not a difficult defender, but due to his aggressive AI and his long-reach and basic attacks, he can be troublesome with this defense tactic specifically, since you are kind of forced to dex hits here and there. Now, one thing that you absolutely do not want to do against a Masacre on a Hazard Shift node is to bring in an Incinerating Immunity champion. If you trigger an Incinerating Immunity, Masacre will instead deal a ton of burst damage, and you will just get nuked by it. Now, that is something I have mentioned basically every single time I take this fight, and I will keep saying it, so that anyone watching these videos will never fall for it again. It's a pretty common trap and easy to fall for, usually only once though. Once you run into it once, you will remember it going forward, and you will be able to avoid it. Fight goes down, no real issues there. His AI was being very nice with the specials, and I was managing the prowesses, and he is spacing very well, and honestly not much else to say about it. Then we have a Mangog on the Aspect of Evolution miniboss node, and I will be taking this fight with Silk. I have no clue why I'm taking the time to heal up Kate Bishop here. It might be because I'm planning on using... yeah, I'm using an invulnerability boost for this one, and the plan was to save it for the next fight after this, which is the final fight of the war for me, so I would then... It wouldn't be wasted, and I would have it just in case for this fight as well, even though it doesn't need it. So I am using Silk here as usual. Game plan, same as usual, get the special 3 and the fight is done. If Mangog uses a special 2, the auto evade saves me. If he doesn't, well, he might get the special 3, but the invulnerability boost will save me. Now here, he didn't throw it immediately, so I got another combo in. Heavy attack there for the first Fury, special 3, and the fight is done. That's it. Mangog won't be able to do anything. At this point you've seen this Silk special 3 many times, but I gotta say, it is a very cool animation, and I'm still not tired of it. I could spam it over and over again until the end of time. That's an exaggeration, if that's how you're supposed to pronounce it, but either way you get what I mean. It's a cool animation to look at. Anyways, Mangog went down, no issues whatsoever, and here I went ahead and bought an energy refill without realizing I had a teammate moving at the same time giving me the energy for it, so that's a wasted 25 units, which is unfortunate, but what can you do? Now here we have a Photon, the final fight of the war, on the Conflictor miniboss node along with Combat Deja Vu Prowess, and I will be taking the fight with Kate Bishop using an invulnerability boost, and starting with the Cold Snap arrows as you normally do. Now the previous war I had a Photon bossed with Kate Bishop, which did not go according to plan at all, and I almost died to it. This Photon, well, let's just say it didn't exactly go according to plan either. Now, usually with Kate I use an advanced power boost, but again I am confident against Photons, so I didn't think I'd need the early damage, just a safety net in case something went wrong, like the previous war. Now this time around the light whiff actually worked, and I did manage to get Photon to trigger the pure light form by herself, and that's very nice and all, but it's not really gonna help. I'm just gonna be eating hits regardless. But I did manage to bait it out and wait it out without baiting any special attacks. But now already she's back to another pure light form, and yeah, this time I didn't manage it well. I blocked the whole thing and it hurt a ton. The chip damage on this fight is insane, even through the block. And yeah, I'm just not doing a good job in managing the nodes along with my own cold snaps, and it's definitely showing. She is slowly but surely taking down from the cold snap, but I'd like to get another one on, but doing so here will trigger the pure light form, and she's very close to a special too. And at this point I just decided, screw it, I'm going for it. If I don't and she uses special, I'm dead. So a striker intercept, which then pushed her very close to special 3. After that I followed up with a slow combo to let the cold snaps get in as much damage as possible, pushing her to special 3, and as soon as my combo ended, I believe she had a small time frame to actually throw the special 3, but she didn't, and I ended up getting the solo on that. Definitely a very risky play, but I didn't really have a choice at that point since I had already messed up badly beforehand. As for the results, we did end up winning the war 47-6, and now going into the final war, if we win it, we'll land top 10 in Masters. If we don't, we'll be somewhere between the 10th and the 20th spot. So, a lot riding on it, we'll see what happens.